Hello guys and girls, yep, me again, the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day if I'm very lucky, NickDutch, yet again. Because my hair has been so bloody awful on my previous videos, I have come armed with a hairbrush so I can make myself look a little better before I start doing my videos. Usually the moment I put my headset on, that screws everything right up. So hopefully with the addition of a little mirror, I can actually start looking more reasonable for you guys. Now, I've just been watching two programs I'm not addicted to, honest. I can give them up, one day, I'm still in control, don't worry about it. One program you might not have in America, it's a British group of ghost hunters, and the show's called Most Haunted. And I watched it because I think it's hilarious to watch blonde women screaming, it's... This particular episode had two mediums in it, so that's the moment I see that, the moment I go really skeptical. One of them I've seen on one of their live shows, and when they were doing a Ouija seance, there was something about everything from the look on her face to the way that her finger bent quite so much on the way that this. You can tell she was putting tons of pressure on the glass that was on the Ouija table. That made me feel that obviously she's trying to con everyone. So I had no respect for her anyway. The other one they had on, I'd seen her do a show as well. And she was using like the pendulum dowsing method. And this time the pendulum swung in a circle and she suddenly says, "Oh my god, it's never done that before. It's a fucking pendulum, that's what it does, and it can only move that much if you actually move your hand." If you're doing pendulum dowsing, you don't actually expect the pendulum to move all that much anyway, because it's only amplifying the very, minuscule movements of your arm and your hand, which is triggered by either your conscious or your subconscious mind when you experience certain trigger phenomena happening. Alright, be that on a psychic, psychological, whatever level, just on any level of being. That's why you can even use the pendulum when you're doing self-analysis. It can be quite intriguing as long as you don't take it too seriously. So I watched this show. I'm not too happy with it because a lot of the problems with sorry, let me rephrase that so I don't get sued. This is purely my interpretation, alright? But I personally feel, and I might be wrong here, I'm only saying that so I don't get sued, okay, that Most Haunted jumps to conclusions a little too much. They go to these locations that have, number one, allegedly haunted histories, and have certain key characters who have either died there or got murdered there and so on and so forth. So they naturally jump to the conclusion that when something strange happens, it is due to that particular spirit. When they're hearing knocks and spirit raps on the furniture, that sounds much more like the floorboards and the beams and all the rest of it expanding and contracting with the changing temperature of the day or night when they're filming. But they're acting as if they have some direct evidence that the noise made by the furniture is directly coming from a spirit. I personally find that a very bad quality of analysis. I would say that if these people were good quality occultists, good quality artists, scientists, magicians and all the rest of it, they would be able to take a much more analytical approach. They got one character in there who actually used to appear in the local newspaper in the town where I've been living for a fair while. This guy is called Kieran O'Keefe, I believe his name is. And he's their resident parapsychologist who's very skeptical, and I think that's absolutely wonderful, and his analysis is really, really good. But he also falls a little short because he's just taken a skeptical approach rather than having a deeper look at what's actually going on here and trying to take it from different points of view. So the show Most Haunted, in NickDutch's humble opinion, has got a few issues. I've also watched a show which you probably have in America, which is called Ghost Hunters, and contains TAPS, the Transatlantic, the Atlantic Paranormal Society, which is a couple of plumbers who also do ghost hunting on the side. Now, I much more appreciate that particular show because the analysis is of a better quality. Okay, I mean, they do sort of turn around and say there was not enough evidence in this particular place for us to say it was haunted. And I think that is a very intelligent thing to say. I think it's a very wise thing to say, because you can't jump to conclusions, which is of course my argument to you. However, once in a while they do say that they have enough evidence to say something is haunted, when that's a little dodgy. Much of the evidence is gained from EVP, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon, which of course uses digital voice recording devices to pick up any sounds which the human ear could not otherwise hear. However, neither of these two shows has actually looked into like the frequencies that these noises are, or what other different types of pickups could be better suited to these devices, to these signs, these sound signals, or whether in fact it's the electronics within the microphone of the pickup which is important, rather than the fact that the pickup, or the microphone itself, is picking up sound. So there is still some issues with a lot of ghost hunting methodology, and I would say that it would be wiser to say that when you get a peculiar EVP, or a peculiar change in temperature, or a peculiar thing appearing on your infrared cameras, for instance, that it is wiser to say these things raise questions, but they don't provide answers. So I do remain, I'd say, critical of ghost hunting TV shows. What else could I add to this? I mean, okay, well, just very simply, I'd have to say that these shows are important, and ghost hunting is definitely an important methodology of investigation, because the more we know about the paranormal world, either through real or assumed phenomena, real or assumed hauntings, basically the better. It just adds to a broader picture, so that we as occultists, as magicians, as diviners, can help us to make up our own minds as to what's going on here. But I would say there is a downside, and the downside would be that these shows tend to encourage the two extremes. One extreme is that of belief, and the other extreme is that of disbelief, rather than the methodology of investigation into nature, which is, I would say, a departure that these shows have not gone down as of yet. And so a much better quality of analytical and reporting methodology is required in order for any form of ghost hunting to be taken more seriously. Just my 2 cents, and good fortune and God bless. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Keep free, and happy ghost hunting, spiritualism, occulting, divining, magic, or whatever it is you'll be planning to do this evening.